Hi everyone, I am Ashmore and welcome to Kyle is Famous. I know that this game has been played quite a bit and I've seen a bunch of people play it and it looks hilarious. So we're going to partake in this and we're going to see how it goes. Kyle woke up. He is famous. Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details. Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast. The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. Are we gonna pretend we don't know who that is based on? She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation. Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview. Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. So we're going to start preparing. We have 30 hours until our interview. And Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely to wither away or exit the bed. We're going to exit the bed. We're going to try and do this the correct way it should be done first, and then we're going to mess around after. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. Now open the closet, scavenge, or sit at the desk. We're going to open the closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark and he could only really see his hanging shirts. Let's choose an outfit. Kyle decided to take some time to choose a perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. We're going to choose jeans and swimming goggles, skunk pasties. I'm coming back to this one. A suit of armor or a slick suit. Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. We're going to sit at the desk. Kyle made his way over to his desk and sat down. Check-in drawer, desk drawer, write notes for the interview. Kyle wrote down his first question. Is your mother a mother? Am I a mother? Or are you a mother? Are you a mother? Kyle wrote down his second question. Ever eaten a raw egg whole? Beef mashed or blended? What are some diet tips? Kyle wrote down his third question. Do you ever smile? I purposely ran over a puppy. What's your funniest story? Kyle wrote down his last question. Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? Or what's your guilty pleasure? Kyle ripped his pages of notes out of the notebook and got up from his desk. Okay, let's go back to our room. We're going to exit the bedroom to the hallway. Kyle walked into the small hallway that connected the rooms of his apartment together. Let's move to the kitchen. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. Let's check the pantry. Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Rude. Okay, open the fridge. Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat. Eat the crust on the fridge while prepare breakfast, or eat condiments, or eat the whole fridge. No, prepare breakfast. Kyle, oh my God, constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage. Let's eat it. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed. All right, let's return to the hallway. Let's leave the apartment. Kyle walked out into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look. Visit downstairs neighbor, visit tech store. Let's visit the tech store. Kyle walked into the clean white tech store. He's greeted by Techno Bill, an elaborate cutout mascot playing soft music from a small microphone. Let's ask the attendee for free samples. Kyle asked the store attendant whether or not they offered any free samples to important customers. The attendant gave Kyle a confused and slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample. Wanting Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a decrepit phone meant for spare parts and held it out. Grab it with the hand, don't grab it with your teeth. Kyle took the phone placently from the outstretched hand and said, "Thanks for your service." Kyle now has this phone to use forevermore. Oh, wait. Return to the... Oh, wait. Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Approach Rachel. "Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here." Kyle responded, scream and spin in circles, or answer politely. "Like I said, we're going to do this right the first time." "And I as well," Rachel answered, Kyle extending his hand in greeting. "You are a most welcome guest." Shake hands. After other mild exchange of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. "Start our broadcast." "Good evening, everyone," said Kyle, looking at the camera. "Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction." Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. "Hi, Kyle. Hello, Kyle. I'm glad to be here." "Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in," Kyle said. "I'm very ready," said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. Start with the "Are you a mother?" "Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother?" Kyle looked up from his notes. "Well, being a single woman with a career, that's not something that has crossed my mind." Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. "Genuinely? Gosh, why couldn't I pronounce it earlier?" "Very reasonable indeed," said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. Kyle asked another question. "What's your guilty pleasure?" "We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure?" "Oh, well, that's an easy answer," said Rachel. "Dipping pickles in chocolate sauce." I kind of want to try it now. "It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often," Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle asked another question. "What's your funniest story?" "You've been involved in a lot of different things, but what's your funniest story?" "Well, that's a great question, Kyle," said Rachel. "I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot. While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in my room." Rachel laughed elegantly. "Swiped." Kyle decided to move on. "Rachel, you managed to keep such a thin and healthy figure," said Kyle. "What is your best diet tip?" "Well, a good diet starts with a plan," answered Rachel, "and don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit." "But," she continued, "that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed." She smiled. Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided not to comment, and moved on. After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. "Well, Rachel," he said, "I think that's all I was planning on asking you." "If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return?" asked Rachel, smiling one more time. "Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together." Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing. Bum, bum, bum. Kyle prepared very well. So we are going to completely start all of this over. Oh, we can browse social media? That wasn't an option before. Oh, okay. So now I'm not going to read the statements. I feel like you guys kind of got the gist, and I'll make sure there's enough space if you guys would like to read them. But if there's new ones, I will read those. We're going to browse social media. Kyle started to scroll through his phone, new articles on his phone. Stay Up Late with Kyle ranked number 1 and number 2 show on television. Oh, good for me. New East Bridge being constructed after being found to not actually exist. Authorities investigating. All right, let's get out of bed. Let's scavenge. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing immediate need for gossip. Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going to be on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. There was a stunned silence and a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. Okay, let's sit at the desk. Check the desk drawer. Kyle opened up the side drawer of his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. Small key, I bet you that opens the pantry. Hold on, we're gonna go, okay. Back to room. Go there. Move to the kitchen. Check the pantry. Kyle wanted to access the pantry but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Unlock with the small key. The pantry door lock creaked as if it hadn't moved for years but eventually opened. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard. Ugh. Let's chug a bottle of lard. Ugh. Kyle voraciously grabbed the closest bottle, snapped the neck against the wall, and sucked out all of the fat within a minute. Let's do another one. Kyle widely sucked down another bottle. He felt very sick. Let's chug another one. Kyle's vomit and the lard were mixing in a way to make it hard to tell which was which. Finish off the pantry. As Kyle finished the last bottle of lard, he felt a wave of accomplishment come over him. Let's return to the hallway. Check the locked door. Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside. Force the door with your forehead. Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door with use of his face. After smashing his features into solid wood for 7 minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia. Oh no. Okay, let's leave the apartment. Oh. Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host, okay, I'm going to skip through these parts and get to... Oh, Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day. Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. As it became apparent that Kyle has no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit. Kyle was left all alone. Oh, Kyle prepared by being a nudist. Alright, so what if we withered away? Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died. Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities. But does that relieve me from needing to get dressed? What else is in the drawer? Ooh, a flashlight. Sorted change, a small key, flashlight, CDs. Let's do CDs. Oh, let's take the dance music. Kyle took a CD with a dancing couple on the front. Oh, I'm a ghost. I've got an old CD and a broken phone. Okay. Let's leave the apartment. Visit the downstairs neighbor. Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. Ooh, scream and spin. Greeting started. Consume Gabby. Kyle unhinged his jaw and swallowed Gabby whole. Job done, Kyle returned to the middle of the street. Let's haunt around. Kyle felt a sudden pull on his heart. Had he abandoned his job as a ghost? Was he fulfilling his spooky ethereal role that he'd accepted while lying in bed this morning? Kyle realized he had no other choice. He must spend his days spooking about. Kyle decided to make a plan about who or where he should spook. I can't spook Gabby, I ate her. Spook the interview. Kyle thought that it would be best to continue his daily course, but with a twist. Today was still go to the studio, but instead of conducting an interview, he would haunt. Excitingly, Kyle made his way to the studio early to find the best spot to conduct his ghostly duties. The studio was empty, being so early the crew wouldn't arrive for several hours. Kyle gleefully skipped around the building, finding the best spot for himself to hide. After searching for some time, Kyle decided to hide behind the guest chair. Kyle quickly placed himself down and drew his legs to his chest. Soon the crew began to arrive and set up for the interview that night. Invisible to all senses, Kyle went undetected. He watched as cameras were set up, screens were turned on, and pages were flipped. Within an hour, Rachel walked into the studio. "Hey everyone," said Rachel kindly. "I'm ready to get prepped. Who do I need to talk to first?" Kyle's producer approached her. "Thanks for being here, Rachel. You should talk to Andrea about makeup first and then wait for when Kyle arrives." Kyle, knowing he was duping everyone, began to giggle uncontrollably. It was then that he, like clockwork, ceased to be a ghost. The studio grew silent. Everyone stared at Kyle, head down, clutching his legs and giggling on the floor. Kyle froze. He had found himself in a situation he had not encountered before. Kyle started to crawl out of the studio on all fours, hoping his small form would avoid attracting more attention. Everyone wordlessly watched as Kyle slowly... Oh, that's right, I had Gabby. Kyle slowly made his way across the stage, through the production set, and out the door. As soon as he was outside the studio, Kyle broke into an all-out sprint. Kyle made his way back to his apartment as quickly as possible. Kyle sat in his kitchen and processed what had happened during his day. He vowed that he would never haunt anything again. Oh, Kyle left. Alright, let's see. We've got to find a key. Can we scavenge for resources? To comb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search of helpful items. I want to find that key. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house. Kyle was glad to see him again, but was unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business. Let's deal with Harry. Kyle hoisted Harry onto his shoulders and took him outside. Kyle began dragging Harry's body down the street, drawing many, many stairs. Kyle knew exactly where he needed to take Harry's corpse on a lovely playdate, just the two of them. Kyle and Harry started at the arcade. Kyle used Harry's arms to operate the joysticks and push buttons. After 5 or 6 different games, the two friends had enough tickets for a single candy bar. They took their prize to the local park for eating. Kyle tried to feed some of the chocolate bar to Harry, but Harry seemed to not have an appetite. He's dead, so yeah. After eating, Kyle noticed a nearby playground. He dragged Harry over. Kyle tried to figure out a way to swing Harry on the swing set, but lacking the ability to grip, Harry kept falling out. Instead, Kyle started to lug Harry to the top of the slide and shove him down time and time again. Finally, Kyle took Harry to the movies to see as many popular films as their pocket change allowed. Kyle quickly found that he had no pocket change, so he searched through Harry's pocket until he found his wallet. Kyle bought 2 tickets to a love romance. After getting inside, Kyle left Harry to go find a restroom. By the time Kyle had finished using the restroom, he had forgotten that he brought Harry along. Kyle watched a love romance by himself. Harry's corpse sat on a bench in the atrium. While Kyle was in the movie, a beautiful thing happened. Harry's corpse, imbued with the power of friendship and love, was reanimated. Harry's old rotten flesh gained color and life. His fingernails grew. His missing eye came back. Oh my God, Harry! By the time the movie was over, Harry was able to greet Kyle with a large, friendly hug as his old self. Kyle was confused but delighted to have his long-lost friend meet him on his way out of the theater. The two made plans to get drunk together and parted ways for the day. Kyle returned home, forgetting about the interview with Rachel. Kyle helped his friend. Oh my gosh. On that note, I think I'm going to end this video here. This was a lot of fun. This was just the demo. I can't imagine what the entire game would be, but I had so much fun playing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed my storytelling. I'm sure it wasn't the best, but I'm almost certain it wasn't the worst. It might have been the worst. But if you guys do enjoy this video, and if you guys would like to see other videos that I'm creating, you should subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of this, and thank you. I know I don't post the best content, but like, I'm having fun, and that's all I'm trying to do. So thank you guys again, and as always, I hope you all have a beautiful day, a beautiful afternoon, and a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!